It is time to jump to the third and last series of the day right here at Rival B-Stream. Jarvjam still with our league and face as we're continuing on the coverage of third week of Rival Series action. And Trouble, Servette, Geneva, Esports. One team that we have already mentioned a couple of times during the stream. Trouble had their troubled game, I suppose, against Solari yesterday. And right now, I feel like they're going to be wanting to bounce back with that victory. On the other end, Servette Geneva, well, they have celebrated their victory against Baguette's squad earlier. I don't feel like they're coming into this series with many hopes. Sounds like Trouble already has us in the back. Am I counting my chickens too early, before they hatch, early?
No. No, you're not, because Trouble, yes, they have lost 2 series so far. One was against an RCD Espanyol team who is surprising everyone, is looking really, really good. And I think that coming out the gates with that performance was a real statement towards their intentions in the league. They lost 3-2 against Solari. Very closely fought series. We know that Trouble looked good in all of those games. Just Solari had that little bit extra, and as we have just seen, they have it in their locker to nick it away, even if they are not playing at their best. That is the sign of a team that is absolutely in the promotion picture. That said, I don't think that Trouble are counted out of the promotion picture. I still think that they are a very good team. On paper, they are the best team. And they are going up against Servette Geneva, who, we've got to put this in context, they've beaten the worst team in the league in the first 3 weeks. That was their one victory, and they have had an issue every single day we have seen them, where one person turns up, they carry them in some form or fashion, and the other 2 are MIA in some way. And this really came home yesterday when RJM tore them a new one. It was Zafir who turned up yesterday, but Zafir was good on defense and couldn't really get anything going. This wasn't the play-ins. And I really do fear for them, Jam. I really do. I see a 9th or 10th place in their future, and Trouble could not have hoped for a better team to come up against to try and overcome the disappointment of losing to Solari.
Yeah. But I think you have Trouble a little bit in the highest regard. Yes, they have Bluey, and Bluey is amazing. But I think they've been disappointing. Like, yet again, Servette Geneva also done not that great, but Trouble has had a rough start. We said it before too. They should have been in the spot of RCD Espanyol. At least everybody thought they were going to be in the spot of RCD Espanyol, being up there, not losing a single series. But it has been a little shaky on the side of Trouble, especially Rix Ronde. He's been doing great. He's having great stats, great goals, assists, saves, shots, everything. He's almost leading like in a lot, or at least high up there. And there's one thing though, he's not that consistent. You remember the game yesterday where the kickoff went off and he was on the wall waiting? And he just missed the ball. See, I'm not surprised if I see Rix do that, because he's a little bit inconsistent. But if your top man, who's doing most of the work, is inconsistent, I believe you're going to have a hard time against other teams.
Can I respectfully disagree, Jam? And Face? Can I respectfully disagree?
Yes,
I think that Rix Ronde has been the best player in the league so far. And I feel like the main problem is that Trouble leave far too many gaps in the defense. That is a team problem, not an individual problem. Bluey, yes, he's been quiet on the goals front. He has been monumental in the assists front. That's exactly what we expect from Bluey. And Tabol's been great in offense as well. So sort out the defensive problems, close out series when you mean to, and you're going to be picking up wins. Simple as that.
All right, our league face, let's have it. 5 minutes are already on the clock. Let's bring in for the final series of the day.
Let's get into this one, shall we, Face? I'm expecting a 3-0 sweep. I'm sure that if you were to ask anyone at the beginning of the season, it'd be a 3-0 sweep. How does Servette Geneva undo Trouble? That's my question to you.
Well, see, I think I don't have an answer for that, because I think this is also going to be a clean trio, even though I think Triple Trouble's underperforming in what we thought what's going to happen with them. But Servette Geneva, like you said, they look very shaky. They've only beaten one opponent, which is Baguette Squad, who has done almost nothing whole season. And if these goals go in, like, come on.
That is not a great start. That was a very simple shot, and Mirrorwing was left getting a little too intimate with the post. That is 1-0 within 5 seconds for Triple Trouble. And though Yagi tries to start an early kickoff goal potential situation for themselves, it's immediately sent back into the orange half. Rix Ronde has a free shot at net. Off the crossbar, back in and away from Zafir. Louis in a red card. That is... That's going to be great for me looking and saying, oh, where the red and orange card? Trolling with me, I'm sure. Anyway, still 1-0. 40 seconds gone. At least... Well, I was going to say, at least the 5-second goal wasn't indicative of this series going forward. But then it's also 2-0 after a helpless Zafir back pass. Bluey with a rare goal.
You asked me the question, how is Servette Geneva going to win it? Well, I think we've got our answer. They don't. We will see. They have more opportunities, but it doesn't look that well. Even the fan votes has come through, and 33% think that Servette is going to win. I think that's a high percentage, but maybe they've got something up their sleeve. Maybe they can do something right here at this moment. Miro with the shot, but it's not even on target, and Triple Trouble just easily get out.
Oh, that's right. Zafir goes MIA again. That is an easy challenge which he has time to wait for. Look, he's waiting, and then he's a second too slow. Just under 4 minutes left. 3-0. And it's time to whip out the stats again, I think. Rix and Tadpole, they are second and third highest in goals per game. Zafir is the top in saves per game. That is a team who love to score up against a team who are on defense a lot. And I think that Servette's first port of call now is pretty simple. Just try and get one goal on the board, because genuinely, Face, I'm worried if they can even manage that looking at these early days.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with you there. Now it's Rix again to Bluey, again to Tadpole, and again towards the net. It was not a goal, but it was again just a good opportunity. Every player involved, and now they're all back in defense. I was gonna say they look so solid, but then Bluey just misses the ball straight in front of him.
Well, he, to be fair, did manage to create the opportunity. No, it was a whiff, pure and simple. We've already said defensive problems, generally Triple Trouble's main bane from this season. But quite frankly, when the creative opportunities are few and far between for Servette, is there any real need to worry about the defense? As far as I'm seeing it, this is a high press from Triple Trouble that's coming in, and they're going to score because more often than not, the defense is missing for Servette. So down the other side of the pitch we go. Bluey with a back pass to Tadpole on target, this time a save from Mirrorwing. The bleeding has been stopped, but can they do anything to strike back?
Well, it doesn't look like it, because every time they clear the ball out, they just give it back again to Triple Trouble. That was a pre-jump by Yagi, doesn't get the touch. Very dangerous. They have to get out in the first place, and then they have to get in a position to get an attack going. But that second part, getting an attack going, I think I have not seen that happen yet.
Off the top of the box, it's just left. Although, to be fair, Bluey and Rix Ronde both committing too much. It does feel like the pace of the game has slowed down a lot since that opening couple of minutes, Face. And I don't really blame Triple Trouble. Again, if you're looking at problems so far, game management and defense. There's your number 2 issues, why they lost against Solari, why they lost against RCD Espanyol. If they can work on those in this setting, where Servette aren't serving up too much, I mean, that's just good practice for later on in the season.
Triple Trouble, what they're doing is quite effective. I don't know why Safar didn't go for the bump right there, but it works out. They get a goal. That was the first task you pointed out. A good clear, Safar. I don't know, but Mirror, good job putting it in the corner. Actually in the corner. It couldn't have been more corner. And now it's a 3-1. Now they've gotten one. Now is, of course, the question, can they get more?
I'm really quite shocked and surprised at why Rix Ronde felt so panicked in defense. Again, it's all par for the course, right? You're gonna have mistakes here and there, but it's not for the first time. That said, Bluey strikes back immediately, says, sit back down. I'm Bluey. I can do this.
I just want to say, Bluey, lovely play. Perfectly executed. Should have been a goal? No. There was a double commit by two defenders. Come on, Servette Geneva. Communicate. Who's going to go? Who's going to cover the net? And when you're both going and he gets the flip, we said, yeah, you're gone. Good job, Bluey. Servette, get your stuff together.
Oh boy, it's all falling apart at the seams. Tadpole with number 5. And Servette is just screaming, make it stop.
Again, good passing play. A Triple Trouble. They're just controlling the whole pitch, the whole play. Every time they can get the ball, they trying to take a touch if they have the room for it. They look for a teammate, they pass it out, they set up a play, and they continue it on. They're looking magnificent right now, while Servette, well, they look broken down in pieces.
Anybody who knows me knows that I love to get excited about good plays. But it's all a little too easy for Triple Trouble in the offense. 10 seconds left. Maybe a final opportunity for Servette to get a second goal on the board. It has been a rough opening act for the team in orange. And Triple Trouble have their first win of the series. That wasn't a flawless performance, Face, but at least they got the job done in the end. Very nice to see Bluey up and about in the shooting, ending up with a hat-trick, 6 shots on target. But you look behind him as well, Rix Ronde with 4, Tadpole with 4. The passing lanes were open wide for them to move into, and I am not surprised by the scale of the scoreline. Servette simply have to find more pace in their challenges, because quite frankly, Triple Trouble are having the run of the field.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they have to find more pace in the challenge. Yes, I think that could be a thing that they work on, but they only have to also have to know where are they moving towards. It feels like they're panicking all over the field, just moving forward wherever the ball is going, except for picking up a position that is beneficial to the play. Just as an example, the double commit on Bluey's flip reset. Well, it's good that someone is challenging and that you have speed on it. But the other person has to rotate on the play and not on the ball. It looks like they're looking at the ball, getting scared. They're like, oh no, I might have to save this one. No, look at your teammate, communicate, and rotate accordingly. Just try to calm down, even though it's pretty hard in this situation.
Interesting car change coming out for Yagi, who's moved into the Dominus. Not the worst choice, might get some more power behind those clearances. But you need to hit the ball first to get the clearance in the to get the clearance out. And Bluey with an open net once again. Roughly the same amount of time has been taken to score goal number 1 in game number 2 as was the case in game number 1. Yagi again just seemingly stopping rather than at least trying to go for the save. I realise you don't want to OG, but Face, surely it's worth trying.
It sure is, but there was an opportunity. It's still up. It's still up. Safar, can you put it in? No, it was a good opportunity though, and they still have to get back that first goal at least. But they look all over the place in defense. There's no thought behind the ball. They're going. There was a double commit again, challenging a ball while nobody is back. They play a dangerous game.
Another simple backball pass for Tadpole to read home. Mirror Wing taken out, Zafair in retreat. And Yagi, another big whiff from him. And that is a 2-goal lead within the first minute for Triple Trouble, cruising their way.
They're cruising through there. It looks like they're on autopilot here. Tadpole flip reset doesn't go for it because he thinks he can do something else with it. doesn't work out. But that autopilot, if this autopilot can be so efficient and effective, Triple Trouble just looks in a whole different league than Servette Geneva do right now.
You've got a feel for the guys. That win against Baguette seems so far away, though. And ultimately, if you are going to step up and play at the second tier of Rocket League, then you've got to fight through the nerves. You've got to change things up. And to be fair, there have been more opportunities for Servette in game number 2. We just saw one there 30 seconds ago. It's a fair. Good backball pass. Yagi needed to get that on target. Trouple was just lying in net. He couldn't really do much. And you feel that was one that came and went for Servette. And now is there going to be a response? No. Good backball read there from Mirrorwing and through from Yagi round the corner, but Bluey with an easy clearance.
I just got Whisper. Okay, we'll get back to that Whisper quite frankly, because Rex just scores the 3rd goal. Good clear by Bluey. Nobody ready because both of them are on the same side. So they cannot really go for it because they're rotating on the other side. So the goalie has to wait. And you get a free ball. I got a little bit of a stat whispered in my ear by our lovely Jar of Jam. Apparently, Servette Geneva has scored the same amount of goals as they've scored in this series as they have scored in the series against RGM.
Being 0?
Now, I think it's 1?
Oh, being 1, yeah, no. I was being, that was a troll. That was a troll. That was. To be fair though, it does feel like that one goal was. Well, I mean, it did have its hint of luck about it because it came directly off a Rix Ronde panic hit and defense. There's been nothing really that Servette have created which is of their own volition a good opportunity that has been converted therefore into a goal as well. Half-time has come and gone then. Still 3-0 the scoreline. Servette versus Triple Trouble. Triple Trouble looking for their 2nd win in the series in this best of 5. Bluey. Bluey with the... That was a good goal, to be fair. Just fell on the ball. Being bullied in net, I believe, was a fair. Yeah, you can see Rix Ronde. Oh, to be fair, Rix Ronde didn't even get involved. That was just Bluey with a touch on his own. No interference necessary. 4-0, 2 minutes left.
What I don't get is that play. Bluey passes it out to Tadpole. Tadpole goes up for the ball. He takes it really slowly, gets an awkward touch, but the ball is still up in the air. And then Bluey can go again. And he takes it into the air as well as Rix Ronde. Why is nobody on the backboard on the side of Servette Geneva? There was so much time to rotate. There was already someone waiting in net. Okay, what's the second thing you covered? The backboard. Why is nobody there?
I really do wish that I could find, and I am trying to find some veins of positivity in Servette. I think that overall their offensive play has been better in game number 2. But I mean, their defense has been shoddy. You see Zaffair there pre-jumping, panicking. This is the captain, by the way. It really does reek of nerves. Double commit, but a save coming out from Servette in this occasion. And a lovely infield pass from Tadpole. So easy. Honestly, I wish I could say that Triple Trouble are playing exceptionally well, but I don't think they have stepped out of 3rd gear. Everything has been very simple, to the point, clean. The one mistake that, or the 2 mistakes that have come to mind was Bluey whiffing in this game and the Rix Ronde mistake that led to a goal in game number 1. It is now 5-0, almost 6. There are still 60 seconds left for Servette to go through.
Yeah, and we might see the goal though. No, this is not on target, but Bluey there to save. Not to save the day because it's not that big of a difference. But he makes the save at least, so they keep the 0 in this scoreline. And I think that Triple Trouble, they're just gonna play this game out and they're gonna go into the next one with the same attitude like, yeah, we should win this. Oh, hey, here's number 6. Thank you very much.
That is the 2nd hat-trick in consecutive games for Bluey, who is having a field day. And you know what? Looking at Servette as a squad, maybe we really should have seen this coming. Bluey, mechanically gifted. One of the most mechanically gifted in the scene, I would argue. And we've seen it. Like, he's been the assist master so far for Triple Trouble Face, but now he's getting his chance to flex his shooting muscles as well.
Well, and he is flexing them. I just want to ask the question once again with that goal that was scored by Bluey. Where's the backboard, boys? You're waiting first post, you're waiting second post, but nobody's waiting on the back post. Someone should be ready for that high ball. But nobody ever is.
It's 11 goals to 1 in the series. May it be 12? Again, Bluey going for the freestyling shots. He's so confident. And who can blame him? Who can blame him? The ball's surely just going to touch the ground now. Maybe Tadpole. Yeah, Tadpole going to keep it up. Are they going to go for a disrespectful 7th goal? I think they might have been interested in that, but listen, boys, you don't want to count your chickens before they catch, because, you know, we know they really are going for the disrespect goal, huh? Finally, the ball hits the ground. 6-0 in game number 2. It is looking like a bleak old canvas for Servette to draw on. Quite frankly, game 3 does not look like a pretty sight. It does not look like something they want to look forward to. Mirrorwing, practically non-existent in that game. I don't think I said his name once.
I can't remember it either. And I don't think we're going to see the reverse sweep that Notorious Legion almost pulled off.
Maybe.
I don't think...
We have seen... I mean, listen, Notorious Legion look down and out themselves. There is a chance, but Servette basically have to do a Notorious Legion and completely change the way that they're playing, and maybe hope for a bit of luck as well.
You're forgetting one thing. Remember game 2, which was actually a little bit decently close, even though it wasn't, but the scoreline was? This was not close, and the scoreline wasn't either. So I don't expect to see that quick of a change.
How do you solve a problem like Servette?
Well, it's not something you solve in the series. This is something you solve over a long span of time by getting back the replays, by looking at it, and then thinking, okay, what did we do wrong? What could have we done better? And try to implement that and practice on those skills, because this is going to be really hard for them.
They are a team that know each other very well. The Swiss scene is almost like a family to each other. This one is going to hurt. But even the most optimistic amongst us wasn't going to be predicting a win for them against Triple Trouble. Again, on paper, the best team in the league, but you know what? That was a very good opportunity. Yagi really should have put that away. That would have been a much-needed win. Going for the flick was Mirror. And so far, fair plays to Servette face. They have been on top in game number 3, but they've got to make this pressure count.
They certainly have. It could have been 1-0, but it's not. But it's fine. They're still in this. They still can't get this win. But it's gonna be hard, though. Here's Savar with the defense, but eventually just a pass out to Tadpole. They started off perfectly by getting offensive pressure, by getting opportunities. It's so sad to see it crumble so fast.
I was happy for Servette that it looked like it was bouncing off the post. No. When it rains, it pours. That's 12-1 across the entire series now in favor of Triple Trouble. But again, they've got to think short term. They've got to think game management. Get the series done. Close it. It doesn't matter how much or little you win by. Just win and get your promotion challenge back on track. Yagi, no boost. But Bluey reads. Miro just hands it off straight to him again. And Bluey's having a field day. And look at that, passing it out, taking it off Mirrorwing. And still the pressure comes through. Good challenge from Yagi. It's a fair. Yagi with the 100 boost, but again, Bluey was there ready, waiting on the backboard. The challenges are there from Servette. The offensive opportunities are there also, but they're just still ever so slow-faced that they're not really putting Triple Trouble under sustained periods of pressure.
They do not, but it looks like they are way more alive than they did in the previous games. They're putting on pressure. They're scoring a goal, getting an equalizer. It looks like they're breathing some new life, because those 50s they are winning and even beating them to the ball.
Was that a bump on Rix from Mirrorwing? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He interfered with Rix Ronde and opened up the passage for Yagi to shoot home. That is a tie game for Servette. Over the top of Tadpole Yagi. Ball floats towards the net. Bluey, lofted. Zafair keeps it high. That should be Tadpole, who goes down to Bluey, who passes it off to Rix Ronde, but Yagi's there first, and that's the first lead that Servette have had. Is the impossible about to happen?
I think it could, because the play that Triple Trouble pulled off can be quite effective, but it's quite hard to execute. And when you feel that, you're in a very bad position. And they were. And it was a very good punishment there from Servette. They stayed close, they stayed aggressive, and they stayed up in the face of Triple Trouble, getting that goal. Now, they have a 2-1 lead. I don't believe this is enough yet. I think they need like 1 or 2 more goals, and they might be able to take this game.
Do you go all defense from here? I'd say no. You've got a good rotation working. Demo coming out from Mirror on Bluey, who has been that defensive rock in game number 3. Not to much success, it must be said. Rix Ronde with a massive whiff, and Yagi now has an open net to go for. No, Bluey does get there first, but Zafair on the wall reads it beautifully. Bluey with the boomer downfield. And pressure has been relieved, and you cannot give Rix Ronde the time of space like that. 2-2.
Even though Zafair's clear was beautiful, Bluey's clear was also beautiful. I just want to point out one thing. The position that Mirror takes in is not great. He forces his defender to stay in net and wait because he cannot challenge. Because if he loses the challenge, Mirror cannot do anything. If Mirror was on the other side of the ball, if he was just on the other side of his last defender, he could have rotated behind it, defender could go, and you have at least a challenge on your hand. Now they had to wait, and Triple Trouble uses that time that they've got to just put a shot towards net, and then it's just tied up again.
So it's Mirror away. Mirror with a whiff. And Bluey doesn't really win the 50-50. Still dangerous until Rix Ronde throws it. Oh, what a pass. What a pass, and what a goal. Bluey, take a bow, son. That was gorgeous.
Look how much time they have. There are 2 defenders lying in wait. Yagi, he tries to challenge, but he's way too far back to get towards that. They're both rotating as defensive as they can. Nobody's up there to get a challenge if necessary. And with that time, Triple Trouble is quite effective, and they take back the lead.
In terms of pure quality, that is the best goal that Triple Trouble have scored. And give credit to Servette, they have forced Triple Trouble to bring it up to 5th gear. They have answered questions. But now they need to provide an answer of their own. Can they find a third to equalise, at the very least? Well, that's a whiff from Rix. And Mirror's got no boost, though. And again, you've got to give credit to Triple Trouble on that one. The boost steal game starting to come into effect. They are closing down the hatches, not on their goal, but on the orange side of the pitch. Mirror wing, red like a book from Bluey. And Tadpole now going to try and follow this, but ends up in a heap. Zafair, downfield. Last chance for them to try and find anything, something, but Bluey controls this very well indeed. He has been standout player. What a pass to Rix Ronde. A save comes out from Mirrorwing, but it is the 3-0 sweep that everyone was expecting. But a little scare there in game number 3 means that Triple Trouble don't go away without a couple of scratches.
Yeah, it was eventually a little bit close in the last game. And I liked Servette playing a little bit aggressive and trying to at least get the challenges done where they could. But Triple Trouble is just a tiny bit too big for them.
Let's bring back in Jam, shall we? I don't really think there is far too much to analyze on that, because with the exception of game number 3, that was pretty much just a procession of goals. It was Triple Trouble going about their business very cleanly. We did bash on Servette a lot, and they really didn't turn up in games number 1 or 2. But, you know, you got to tip your hat. They did bring their game in game number 3. They had a lead briefly, but ultimately that quality from Triple Trouble was just a bit too much, right?
It seems like someone has told Servette Geneva Esports that your game starts at 7:20. Not 7 o'clock, that's when Triple Trouble have shown up, but 7:20. And as a result, we didn't see proper Servette Geneva Esports up until that last game. it was great to see them suddenly getting those touches, the touches they have been missing throughout the whole of the series, and actually getting something done with their possession. Unfortunately, Zafir could not help out his team, and we saw mirroring with Donuts in game number 2 for a player that actually was the deciding force when Servette were playing against Baguette Squad. It was really surprising to see him do nothing in that game. Close to even less than 100 points of score. That is something unheard of. But I don't think anyone is expected by the scoreline. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0 on this end as well. We had to see that, and in the end, we saw just that. Servette Geneva Esports, despite their valiant efforts, as much as they could put it on, they just couldn't break it down. Is there anything that Servette Geneva can really salvage from this? Did you see any positives that you can really build upon and try to get something done in the upcoming series?
Their defense was unlocked very easily, but I will give Yagi credit, and we did see this in week 2. That boy has a good eye for goal, and had his shooting been a little more on point, I think they could have been talking about maybe 2-goal leads, maybe getting back into individual games. And it's fine margins like that which really do separate the bubble teams from the rival series teams. You do feel for them because they are that close to erasing the chronic issues that they're currently suffering from. But if they don't overcome those issues, and if they don't become a lot more prolific in terms of their scoring potential, then they are just going to fade away like they did against Triple Trouble. Because ultimately, these teams, I mean, you look to Rix Rondé, multiple years in the rival series. You look to Bluey, RLCS, EU MVP potential caliber level gameplay. And, you know, those sorts of players are going to unlock defenses on their own, let alone if you work together as a team. So, yes, there are positives, but it's a big, big uphill battle for them throughout the rest of the season. They're going to have to bring that Game 3 fire and passion to every game from now on.
It's a long way for them to go, it seems. But, folks, that is it for today. We have our 3 series. Results pretty much going the way that we expected them to go, although a couple of Game 5s that perhaps were a little bit too close to the heart. Let's take a quick look at the standings as they are after today. RCD Espanyol has not been moved from their top spot. It will be hard to do so since they still have a game in reserve. RGM moving on to the second spot with their 3-1 result. Solari also moving on up. Already played 5 games, only 4 remaining for them. Team BDS and Weedham Girls haven't played today. Will be playing next week. Triple Trouble getting their second win and trying to get out of that relegation zone, and that is where Notorious Legion, Team Verdict, Servette Geneva Esports, and Baguette Squad are currently sitting. If you're 7th and lower, you're out automatically. No second chances, have to requalify again. But we're only not even at the half point of the season bar Solari. So everything can change, but certain things are already measuring up on the scale. So, our league, Face, any last thoughts as we are going to be heading out and folks will be preparing to gear up for the North American leg?
Well, like Arlik always said earlier, there are certain teams that are high up, example RGM, and certain teams that are a little bit lower down, like Triple Trouble, who've had very different opponents. Like RGM had more easier opponents, so they're higher up again, while Triple Trouble had some opponents that were a bit harder to face off again. So I expect that the current standings do say something about the possibility of teams ending up somewhere along the lines, but I think we're going to see a big shuffle in the upcoming week.
Yeah, and basically just to continue on that point, you can't, especially in these early weeks, you can't look at the league as just numbers that are up there on the standings. Of course, they're important because it shows how much early success teams have had, but you've got to look at the wider context of, okay, well, what teams have they played? Who's coming up next? And the likes of Triple Trouble, their schedule, I mean, no game is easy in the rival series, but on the basis of what we've seen, you know, the level of quality, creative, and defensive plays that we've seen from all of the teams across the board, Triple Trouble, I think they're going to be rising up the standings. the likes of RGM, I think we're going to see them slipping away. I would love to be proven wrong. I think a lot of us were almost proven wrong in series number 2, of course, when Notorious Legion almost completed that reverse sweep. Rocket League is one of these beautiful games where one bit of luck goes your way and then the tide just turns against you. It is still only week 3. There is still plenty of Rocket League left to be played. And as much as we can make predictions and we can say certain things here and now, ultimately we might be proven to be very silly at the end of the season as well because of some massive upturn in form. We saw it from Team Vertex. They almost saved themselves last season. Are there more surprises to come? Almost certainly.
We'll see how our predictions live up to expectations of ourselves and everyone else. The B stream will continue next week on Saturday at 5 p.m. Central European Time. Of course, the North American RLCS is starting in about an hour, even less than an hour, with the pre-show. Of course, European RLCS tomorrow and next Friday. It's going to be more a rival series action for both regions. But it only remains for myself, Jam, to say thanks to our league, Face, our broadcaster, AJ Simpson. Everyone has been working behind the scenes. And thank you very much for watching. And remember, play more Rocket League.